Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to my other apostles, a great millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopeful members of the elect, the Bechoyim, the house of David, that's been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last times, and to be the ruling governing body of the nation, Yashallah. Motb update, which Motb stands for Mark of the Beast, referring to Revelation 13, verse 16, all the way down. And this is from TiePranks.com. And it says Elon Musk. Oh, TipRanks, Slakia. TipRanks.com. All right. And it says Elon Musk, Neurolink launches clinical trial in Canada. It was published September 19th, 2025. Okay. And I'm not going to read this article. I might just read actually the first paragraph or the first few sentences. All right. But it says Neuralink, the experimental brain chip company run by billionaire Elon Musk, has launched a clinical trial at a hospital in Toronto, Canada. And you see, again, starting with our apostles, elders, we've been telling you this. Really, it's found in the scriptures. It's prophesied that the elites, they will push and mandate this chip across the whole planet. All right. And they're going to do it at an order out of chaos, cause certain events, scenarios, collapse world economies. All right. That'll be the chaos. Trying to restore order, they will bring about this chip. All right. Problem, reaction, solution, problem, everything just collapse. Everything going to chaos, reaction to people, and survival of the fittest mode at that point. All that hell breaking loose, shit hitting the fan. Okay. And the solution will be this chip. Okay. These elites, they will mandate it, and in order to live within their smart cities, you have to have this chip. And they're using Elon Musk. They're using this individual to push it, to create these corporations and to make these chips and to test them and implant them in patients. And you also have another corporation not ran by Elon, but it's called Synchron. Let me pull that up real quick. Synchron. Neural technology to address the limitations of the human body. Okay, about Synchron, a brain-computer interface (BCI) company was founded in 2012 by Thomas Oxley and Nicholas Opie, based in New York. The company is developing the Strentroid, a minimally invasive brain implant intended to restore motor function and communication for those with paralysis or neurological disabilities. Okay, Synchron has obtained $75 million in Series C funding from investors, including Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. And you know that guy, COVID was about. He had a new what was it? Was it like a new patent? But the World Order WO quadruple six. Okay. Then I think he was the same one that suggests the idea for the smart gels, basically it was like a prelude to the chip. Okay. To monitor you, to check on your health. And that guy, he's definitely up there with Elon Musk. Okay, they're puppets underneath the elites, but they do their bidding. And it says with a 385 million valuation. So I'm gonna get the ChatGPT because I asked ChatGPT to break this down. So it says here's a breakdown of what's going on with Neuralink launching a clinical trial in Canada. What it is, what's new, what are the potentials. Blase, blase. Okay, so it says what's happening. Neurolink, Elon Musk's brain computer interface company, has begun a clinical trial in Canada, specifically at Toronto Western Hospital, part of University Health Network. This is the first time Neuralink is doing its brain implant, the BCI, trial outside of the US. So, hey, they're starting to push globally. Now they're heading into another country, Canada, and just watch. It's going to be another country after this, somewhere in the world. Okay. Two Canadian participants, both quadriplegics, quadriplegics, have been implanted with the devices. More participants, 6 additional, are being recruited. The eligible people are those with paralysis from spinal cord injury or ALS. You see, this how this devil's gonna come. Okay, he's gonna come to you and say he can heal you of your ailments. If you have any type of paralysis, blindness, he can heal you. He's trying to be like the Most High on the left hand side. Okay, he can heal you and do all these incredible things through his technology. It says, which ALS stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. The devices are wireless implants with ultra thin electrode threads placed in the brain. In the trial, once implanted, participants were able within minutes to convert neural signals into actions. For example, moving a computer cursor by thought, right? Okay, so they're implanting these chips into your Metapon. Let's get the scriptures because it's already been prophesied that these things will happen, and it will be a major event that will lead to a mandation of this chip. They're just setting it in order, and they're gradually building this. They're gradually pushing this out until one day it's just mandated. You have no choice. Either you live within their society with it, or you don't. And most likely you'll be killed. So let's get Revelation 13, verse. Let's see. I'll start verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And these are one of the miracles that they're doing, that they can heal people with paralysis and different ailments through this chip. And the beast is this man's system, this Edomite system. Who are the Edomites? The self-proclaimed white man, the Caucasian race. But their biblical nationality, their true nationality, are Edomites. Now the head tribe, the one that's ruling all of this, the elites, the international banking families, they go back to Amalek, which was a grandchild of Esau. Still, they're all Edomites. Okay, they're all Edomites. But the people who claim to be Israel today, the small hats, if you catch my lingo, they're Amalek, okay? Or Khazarians. Amalek, though, Edomites, all under the same banner. And you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are Israelites, consisting of different tribes, the 12 tribes. And it says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Right, because they came back. You see, Esau Edom, when he first established his empires, first the Greeks, Alexander the Great, and then the Roman Empire was established. Eventually it fell. 325 AD, that's when Jake is just short for Jacob, okay? And when we say Jacob, we're just talking about Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But in this particular case, when the Byzantine Empire was established, that was ran by black people. They were Israelites, okay? Primarily the Southern Kingdom. 325 AD, the Byzantine Empire, yes, that was Jake. Constantine, Septimius Severus, even though he was a little bit before, 197 AD. Either way, all Jake. But that's when Esau, that's when he was wounded, okay? Now he came back during the Renaissance, mid-1300s, and now he's full-fledged ruling the earth as a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. You see, compromising the NATO and the EU. All right, and his image is his way of life, okay, his philosophies, and you know, part of that image is going to be that chip, okay, but it's his way of life. I want to get that word miracle, actually. All right. As a matter of fact, I want to read this in the GNT out of curiosity, just see what it says. Let's see what it says in the Greek.
Strong's G 4592. Semayon. Semayon.
All right, sign, miracle, wonder. Okay, and it's a wonder what this man can do with his technology. It actually is on the left-hand side, but you know, it was given to him by the Most High. He can make fire come down. Those are the missiles. The chip can heal people. His technology. You look at AI. Those are like wonders. Okay. A sign, prodigy, portent, unusual occurrence transcending the common course of nature. Okay, let's get image now.
Strong's G 1504. Icon.
Icon, image, figure, likeness. Okay. One in whom the likeness of anyone is seen applied to a man on account of his power of command. Representation, statue, resemblance. You see? So you have to abide by this man's rules in order to live in his society. And soon it's going to be draconian measures. Soon it's going to be his way or the highway totally when they push this chip. Okay? And that's why the scriptures say, you know, the elect, we're going to be just moving. The Lord's going to be with us because we're going to deny that chip. All right? Because we serve Yahweh by Shemashah. We're not going to bend the knee and serve this man's system. Serve this beast system. All right? 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle. And we're doing that now. Preparing ourselves spiritually first and foremost. You know, we do things also, you know, what you should be taking care of your body physically. Proper diet. Because you got to think of it, man. We're going to be on the move. So a brother should be walking and going to the gym if he can, but just getting some type of physical workout, just, you know, doing good for his health. All right, you should be doing that, and that shows that you love yourself as well. All right, you know, even the scriptures say how working out profiteth a little, but yeah, it's still profited. Okay. But you love yourself when you take care of your body. And it says, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. A pilgrim is someone who's constantly moving. So we're going to be constantly moving. And the Lord's going to provide all the necessities, food, drink. It says in Isaiah 65. I'm not going to get it. But it says how we're going to eat, drink, and rejoice. While the opposite for everyone else. Okay? You just have to believe, and this is where we're building up our faith now. You do the things that you have to do to please Yahweh Shemashah. You have to have a great personal relationship with the Lord now. Okay, now is the time. Okay, get you ready to thy battle. You do it spiritually now. Okay, it starts with your spirit, your inner man first. All right. I want to get that revelation real quick. In the GNT. Okay. Yeah, let's get the GNT. Okay, Revelation 13, verse, what was that? 15. The second beast was allowed to breathe life. It's like it. The second beast was allowed to breathe life into the image of the first beast, so the image could talk and put to death all those who would not worship it. Right. You know, the first beast. All right, going back to again to that Roman Empire. All right, the Greco-Roman Empire. When Esau first started ruling as the Greeks, but the Roman Empire came about, that's when he was really conquering, taking more lands. Okay. You see? And it was different than any other empire, because that's when he set up a Senate and electoral votes. All right. You vote for a president, because every ancient empire it was ran through like a monarch system, a bloodline. Okay. So it says the second beast was allowed to breathe life into the image of the first beast, so that the image, and again, the second beast is the Roman Empire revived all over again, and what we see today as, you know, compromised in the NATO and the EU, with that whore being America sitting on top. Okay, so that the image could talk and put to death all those things who would not worship it. You see? So again, part of his image is going to be that chip. All right. This man's whole way of life is contrary to the Most High. He wants you to live in a technocracy, just a degenerate lifestyle. Okay, do what thou will. Be a eternal slave. This man wants to make you an eternal slave. Okay, and he's gonna do that through his chip, to monitor you, to surveil you, to, you know, and able to live within his borders and in his society. It says the beast forced all the people, small and great. See, it says the beast forced all the people. So they're not gonna come to you and just say, well, if you want to take it, we understand if you don't want to. No, they're gonna make everyone take it. These elites are not playing. All right, these elites are not playing. So hey, brothers, you know, be on it. All right, build up your relationship up with Yahweh Shemashah. And I say to myself first and foremost, because man, it's going to get brutal out here. I don't know how we're gonna, I don't know how I'm gonna eat and drink. I'm just gonna rely on the Lord. He's gonna make a way. I don't know how I'm gonna just find food in that day, but the Lord's gonna make a way. Yeah, you read scriptures, like it says the scriptures are written for our learning. You read about certain prophets, men of the Lord. They were delivered and sustained in miraculous ways. Okay. It says the beast forced all the people, right, and they're going to do it again, collapse these economies. And then when they started back up again through their new system, universal basic income, where's that going to be stored? On the chip. All your information on the chip. Okay. Force all the people, small and great, rich and poor, slave and free, everyone, just everyone, to have a mark placed on their right hands or on their foreheads. You see, and I want to get that word forehead in the blue letter, because in the Greek it will say metapon, which is your frontal lobe, which controls your motor functions. So that's how these people in these clinical trials, they're able to, what it said, move like a cursor, control like a computer with their mind, because that chip was implanted in their frontal lobe. Okay. And I can get the, what does a frontal lobe What does it dictate? Hold on, Slovakia. Here we go. Just real quick. Because a word for mark, we always go over it. I know it by heart. It's charagma. That's the chip. The root word of that is charax, the needle, the palisade. That's how it be injected by. And then graphos, the latter root of that word of charax, meaning writings, data, your information. And Dr. Oz, who's now what is he? He's like the head of the health, I believe, and JF. What's the other guy's name? JRK. Hold on, let me see. Dr. Oz. Let's see what he's a part of now. Right, and government officials serving as a 17 administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services since 2025. Right. So he's administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, dealing with health. And what's the other guy's name? J. Robert, not Robert. Is it Robert F. Kennedy? Slovakia. Yeah, this guy right here. Damn, not Robert Downey Jr. Not Iron Man, come on. But yeah, let me get him. Robert. Here we go. God damn it. I just had it. Like I just had it. Or here we go. This guy. Okay, and it says his office is United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. So both dealing with health. All right, and they just passed a bill to, in layman terms, instead of going through the office, filling out your paperwork, putting all your information, now it's going to just be digitalized. And it'll be that much quicker. It'll be sent to your doctor. And it'll be just a quicker process. But ultimately, that will be, stored in your chip and all your information. Okay? So I can just looking at the news. I might have to go over that later. It says Kennedy's vaccine advisors declined to recommend COVID shot for all Americans. All right, whatever. But let's go back. All right. Oh yeah, let me get that word Metapon real quick, because I wanted to show you that as well. Okay, this thing might take 1,000 years to load. Come on. Okay, here we go. All right, Revelation 13, verse 16. All right, so foreheads. It should say Metapon. All right, Metapon. The space between the eyes and the forehead, right? Your frontal lobe. Now, let me just type in Google. What frontal lobe control. Like, what's its functions? Okay, executive functions. Here we go. Planning and organizing, decision making, problem solving, attention, and working memory. At the top, it says the frontal lobe is responsible for various cognitive and motor functions. And I just read it, one of them, including what I just read: planning, organizing, decision making, problem solving, attention, and working memory. Motor control, voluntary movements, coordination, impulse. That's why they put the chip there. People who had paralysis and whatnot, they can move again, right? One brother brought it out how a guy would have seizures. He'll click the button and the seizures will stop. Then he'll click the button again and it'll start up again. Cognitive processes, language, production, social behavior, empathy, personality. So your frontal lobe does a lot actually. Okay, obviously, it's part of the brain. Okay. Other functions: emotional regulation, long-term memory formation, and sense of smell. It's important to note that the specific functions controlled by the frontal lobe can vary depending on the individual and the specific area of the frontal lobe that is activated, right? Let me give you a picture just so you know where it's at. right there. Okay, right there, and the top, like the front part of your head, or your brain, I should say, Slock. All right, frontal lobe. So you can see again right there, bam. So let's go back to these to this Chat GPT. Okay, and it says what the trial is for, its goals, safety, and effectiveness. As with any new medical device, especially ones involving surgery and direct brain implants, they need to establish whether the device is safe in humans and whether it does what it claims, decoding brain signals well enough to control external devices. And see, right now, it's painting the picture that it's going to help people, but ultimately, its whole goal is to enslave everyone. Total surveillance, total control. Watch the interview with Doctor. Watch the interview with Aaron Russo. Okay, that he did with Alex Jones years, decades ago. Helping assistive use, helping people who are paralyzed. Example: quadriplegics. I gotta look that word up. Slovakia. I gotta see what that is. I'm not even gonna act like I know. Hold on. Okay, let's see. So quadriplegic. I've been pronouncing it wrong. Slovakia. Quadriplegic refers to a person with the condition of quadriplegia or tetraplegia, which is the partial or total loss of motor function and sensation all four limbs and the torso. So like basically like in a vegetable state. Typically due to a spinal cord injury or other neurological conditions. All right. So this can result from traumatic accidents, sports injuries, or certain medical conditions, degenerative diseases. Okay, so that's what that is. All right. So all your functions are just dismantled, completely off. All right. And it says, so example, quadriplegics regain some control over devices, computer cursor, maybe robotic arms via thought. The aim is to restore autonomy, communication capabilities, etc. They may also be exploring more advanced future applications, restoring vision, you see, memory, augmentation, though those are further out based on earlier statements by Neurolink. So key technical details. The electrode threads are ultra thin and implanted into specific brain areas, likely the motor cortex or areas related to controlling hand movement to capture brain activity. The implants are wireless, which reduces the need for external connectors and might improve practicality. The trial has a name, Can Prime. Gotta look that up. All right, let me just see something. Prime. Why is it called that? Can Prime. Let's see. Can Prime definition. Of first importance, main, chief. Let's look up can definition. Or maybe that might stand for something. Can. I don't know. To be able to permit it. Okay, so curious though why they call it that. What's new versus what was known? Neuralink has already gotten Health Canada's authorization some months ago to conduct trials in Canada. Okay. So